Hey everyone, Miss GoElectric here. If you're looking for a lightweight city bike that you can buy and service locally pretty much anywhere, then there aren't too many options on the market. And if you want one with a throttle, that's gonna be even harder to find. Aventon has been making the Solterra for quite some time, and you might have even seen them for sale at Best Buy, but they don't stand still and they've made some improvements. So join me as I do the first review on the Solterra.2. The Aventon Solterra.2 is a lightweight Class 2 e-bike, which means the motor can work up to 20 miles per hour using pedal assistance, and it has a thumb throttle too. Most Aventon e-bikes allow riders to unlock the bike to higher speeds, but on this bike, 20 miles per hour is the maximum speed limit. The Solterra.2 has a 350-watt rear hub motor, and unlike its predecessor, it has a torque sensor. The UL certified battery operates at 36 volts, using LG cells with 9.6 amp-hour capacity. That is equivalent to 360 watt-hours. It is easily removable and can be charged on or off the bike. The bike comes with a 2-amp charger that should deliver a full charge between 4 to 5 hours. Aventon says this combination can deliver a maximum range of 46 miles on pedal assist in eco mode, and up to 20 miles using the throttle only. Solterra.2 comes in 2 styles. The traditional frame with color options in citrine or midnight black comes in a regular size accommodating riders between 5'3" and 5'10", and a large frame accommodating riders between 5'10" and 6'4". The step-through frame comes in either storm blue like I have here, or ghost white. There is a small medium frame that will suit riders between 4'11" and 5'7", and a medium large frame fitting those between 5'7" and 6'1". Each option is IPX4 rated for water resistance. The bike weighs 46 pounds and can support a maximum payload capacity of 300 pounds. These are mechanical brakes with 180mm rotors. The grip shifter and 7-speed tourney derailleur are made by Shimano. The aluminum front fork is rigid, and the tires are 700C by 38mm. The color display is one of my favorites in the business, and they now ship with a matte finish for reduced glare. I love the app connectivity for recording rides, engaging with the community of Aventon owners, and adjusting my ride settings. The 300 lumen integrated headlight and taillights with turn signals are standard, along with the bell. The Aventon Solterra.2 does not come with fenders or a rear rack, but they're available as optional accessories. I am always impressed with the expanding variety and abundance of accessories Aventon offers. Solterra owners get Aventon's comprehensive 2-year warranty and the benefits of one of the largest dealer networks of any direct-to-consumer e-bike brand. If you've got an Aventon retailer nearby, that can make test drives possible and improve the service experience. Alright, those specs look pretty good, and I'm really excited to test out this bike because the build quality looks amazing per usual with Aventon bikes. Now keep in mind, it ships out of the box looking pretty much just like this, except for I have added a front basket. There's also an available rear rack that I don't have on here yet because it was delayed in transit, but keep in mind there are no fenders included, and this being a commuter bike, that might be something you want to invest in. Now I think I'm ready to take this out on the trail and take it downtown in the city of Rochester, Michigan. So let's go. By the way, this is my X-Nito helmet. It's an e-bike helmet that can support up to speeds of 28 miles per hour. I'll put a link in the description below, but let's get to riding. All right, let's start off this ride here. Got mechanical brakes, these are all right, they're just fine. Right now I'm pedaling without any assist. Something to note is that this has a shifter that twists. So this is a new style that I have not seen from Aventon before, but I'm excited to keep trying that out as we go through downtown Rochester and test this bike out. So I'm on this little light gravel path. If I'm gonna go on any of these kinds of packed gravel paths, this is probably not gonna be something I spend too much time on because this is designed to be on pavement. It doesn't have a suspension, as you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little close to these leaves, but essentially
it's not that comfortable if you're on like a gravel path like this, since I don't have a suspension. And the tires are really thin, so they're not going to give you a lot of stability over these rocks when you hit them. All right, let's get going on this pavement. It is a thinner saddle, so I'm already noticing that it's not as comfortable as some of the others. If I'm, you know, riding a commuter bike, that's like one of my main priorities is comfort. So I'd probably swap out this saddle. It's a little thin and kind of sliding around a lot because of the material it's made out of, but I have tried worse, I will say that. All right, let's get on the road and head downtown. Now, this is a torque sensor, and so far it is lovely. And I think that is the perfect application here for this bike. And right now I'm only in the first mode, which is Eco. Now they've also switched the pedal assist mode. So it used to be that there were 5 modes and it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now there are 4 modes and they all have names. So as I mentioned, this is Eco. If I move up, you got Tour mode, Sport mode, and then Turbo. So those are the 4 pedal assist modes. This bike goes up to 20 miles per hour, so once I make it around this corner, I'm gonna test that out. All right, good takeoff, but I do have a throttle too to help. Let's bump up to turbo mode and see how quickly I can get going. And just like that, I'm at 20. Let me bump up my shifting. That's something I'm gonna have to get used to. It's a little hard to see with the shifter what gear I'm in because the number is right on the edge of the enclosure, so it's like warped. Wow, this feels great. It feels really smooth, and you might want to investigate something that can go a little bit quicker. Unless you have designated bike lanes that are protected, then you're probably in good shape. But I just want to be mindful of that with that 20 mile per hour top speed. I'm really glad that they've added these like paddles to the handlebars because they're super comfortable grips. They have a great texture on them, so you're not going to slide around. They're rubberized, so I love this grip style. And it really makes it so I wouldn't need to wear bike gloves or anything like that to make my palms feel comfortable. But the riding position is I'm leaning a little bit forward, and when I'm going over these bumps, I can feel it through my hands a little bit, but I'm mostly feeling it in my bottom. And so no suspension at all is something to think about. And if you want to kind of combat that and still have a lightweight bike like this, then you'll probably want to get a suspension seat post. All right, we're going to turn left here with my turn signals. I love that. Keep in mind, my screen here, there was a film on it and it was like a matte finish. So right now it looks like there's quite a bit of glare on the screen, and there is, but that's because I was kind of a dingbat and I ripped that off because I thought that it was a piece of cellophane that would come off, and actually producer Tim set the bike up and therefore I didn't realize that he had already ripped that initial piece off. But this has a matte finish that comes with the bike that makes it look better visually, but also easier to see when it's really bright out. So keep that in mind. I'm powering up this hill and it is doing a great job, I will say. We'll take another loop. I kind of want to see how the throttle will perform when we take this turn up here. So we'll do the throttle test. I like that there's an integrated bell here. It's built into this braking mechanism. And with a bike like this, if you are going to be amongst traffic, you need to have something that is going to be able to alert them. So either a bell like this that is loud, which I can't stress that enough. There's a lot of cheap ones that just have this little like plastic piece that hits the bell and it's not that loud. This one has good force and you can tell, good high quality bell. But I prefer electric horns with bikes like this where you're going to be amongst traffic. Okay, so I'm doing throttle only. That takeoff was smooth. So far, this throttle is a very gradual pace to get up to speed. It is not jumpy or lurchy or anything like that. I think most people that get a bike like this are used to already having an analog bike as a city runner. And so for it to be a very gradual, while you get used to it, increase of speed is crucial. But I'm almost up to 20 here. And we're just about hitting 20. There we go. Let's see how these brakes work. I'm gonna slam on the brakes. Good performance out of those brakes for being mechanical. I mean, I typically like to see a hydraulic brake because it's less maintenance. I do love the handlebar shape, how it comes up. It's a little bit higher up for me, so I'm not leaning forward as much. A lot of others are like really fitness road style electric bikes that you're leaning forward a lot, and this strikes a great balance so that you can be comfortable as a commuter, but still be somewhat efficient with your riding position. Oh, this torque sensor is so good. I'm so happy that Aventon is putting those on pretty much every bike. It feels exactly how you would expect it to feel if you just thought of what an electric bike would feel like, you know, without understanding what a cadence or a torque sensor is. Honestly, eco is enough. I think that that's the mode that I would ride around most in, unless I'm on a really steep grade, but generally speaking, I think that gives me enough power and I'm still, you know, working out my legs, which I think a lot of people with this bike would want to be doing. Well, let's head back and I'll share my final thoughts on the new Aventon Solterra.2. Well, it's been a joy riding around on the Solterra.2 today, and it's gonna be a hard time finding the things that I'd like to see improved. But we're gonna do that first, and then we'll get to the positive attributes for this bike. The first negative is the shifter. I tend to prefer a thumb and index adjustment, and although this one functions just fine with the twisting mechanism, it's really hard to read what gear I'm in because this curved lens here distorts that reading. So it's a no for me. I don't love the shifter. Next are these mechanical brakes, and the rotors are nice and big, but it does take a lot of effort to bring this to a stop. And there are some bikes that are around the same price point that are recent competitors and have hydraulics included, so I'd really like to see Aventon include those. On the flip side of that, mechanical brakes are really easy to maintain, so there is that benefit. In the Aventon lineup, this is a lightweight bike, but it is at least 10% heavier than every competitor I've reviewed. Weight is definitely a factor when you're considering range. The Solterra.2 has a battery capacity that's very similar to the competitors, but with the Aventon here, it is capped at 20 miles per hour. Now, I understand that they do that to optimize the range, but the other competitors can go up to 25 miles per hour, and I wish that this did too, because I think it's safer when you ride alongside traffic to be able to go faster speeds. The last bike that I've reviewed in this category had the best cable management that I have ever seen, and although this isn't terrible, I've seen worse, I wish that they did a little bit better of a job getting these cables into the frame much quicker. Aventon is a pretty tech-forward brand, and I really like their app and the computer display, but I think that if this is a city bike, you need to have anti-theft protection and or GPS locating. So I think since the competitors in this class offer that, they should really consider it. On to the positives, and the first one being the Aventon brand. Now, I haven't reviewed every single Aventon bike, but the ones that I have, they have outstanding build quality. I love the paint finishes, and they have an app that I think is one of the best on the market. But probably the biggest factor is the availability of a vast dealer network. So you can either buy the Aventon bikes at the dealer or have it directly shipped to you, but regardless, you have a means of service. I know there are bike shops that will only service the e-bikes that they carry, and this is a big advantage for Aventon because pretty much most of the competitors that are direct to consumer don't have a vast dealership network like that. So if you need service, and eventually you will, you can have confidence that someone will be there to do the job and not just have parts sent to you, but have someone perform the work. Specifically for the Solterra.2, this has a torque sensor, and it couldn't be a more perfect riding experience because it is balanced, it feels very natural, and I'm really happy with the power that it gives. This is a city bike and safety is super important. I love the fact that Aventon included integrated lights, not only in the front and the rear, but I think the huge benefit here is that this has turn signals. And they're not like normal turn signals that I've seen on other competitive e-bikes where they're just a red light that flashes. They're very obviously turn signals because they have that amber tone to them. And I think that they're absolutely incredible because they are so bright, even in daylight when it's sunny like this. Another small detail is they've included reflective sidewalls on the tires here so that you can be seen at night. I love this safety feature. If you're looking for a comfortable bike, then you're probably gonna wanna look at a different form factor because this is really designed to be efficient and lightweight. As far as bikes in this category goes, this is a relatively comfortable riding position. I'm sitting up a little bit more, and there's this paddle shape on the end of the grips that make it really comfortable for that little bit of pressure of leaning forward that I'm doing. And this is a really quiet and very smooth bike. This bike comes pretty bare bones, but in this category and at a price of about $13.99, that's not really a surprise. I do like the fact that you can load up on accessories, whether it's a front basket, a rear rack, and most importantly, fenders. If you want to learn more about the Aventon Solterra.2, then see the link in the description below. Aventon might help support the Miss GoElectric channel if they find we're helping their customers find the right bike for them. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this latest review. We have a discount code for the Aventon bike, so definitely see that down in the description as well. Until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.